Hello, everybody. Today is going to be a very different type of a show from what I normally do. Normally, I just come on and I do a video blog and do some teaching. But today, I actually brought a friend with me, and we're going to do almost like a little bit of a podcast or some kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, a podcast or a interview with each other. So I'm just so excited. I'm beyond excited to introduce a truly extraordinary soul who has not only played a powerful role in my personal journey, but who is also deeply aligned with the mission of helping humanity awaken and transition into the new Earth timeline. Her name is Paige Renee Garcia, and Paige and I first connected back in 2020 during the global lockdown, a time of deep inner transformation for so many of us. From the moment we met, I knew there was something incredibly special about her energy, her presence, and her purpose. She is a highly skilled practitioner of QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, and aura hypnosis with a unique ability to create a safe, sacred space for deep soul exploration and multidimensional healing. Her intuitive gifts and mastery in guiding sessions allow people to access their higher self, star family connections, and lifetimes of wisdom with incredible clarity. Recently, Paige and I reunited for another hypnosis session, this time with the intention of connecting with my new guides as I work on a book to as I work on the book two of my series, bringing forward a new golden age of miracles. What unfolded was beyond profound. Through her skillful guidance and deeply attuned questioning, Paige helped me connect with the Arcturian Council, bringing forward powerful insights and transmissions meant to support the collective as we transition into this higher vibrational Earth timeline. The information was clear, expansive, and incredibly aligned with the energies we're all feeling right now. Whether you're new to QHHT or a seasoned traveler of consciousness, I promise you, Paige has a gift. Her sessions are not just experiences, they're activations, and it is an absolute honor to share her energy with all of you today. So get ready for a deep dive into quantum, the cosmic, and the miraculous as we welcome Paige to the channel. You won't want to miss this. Welcome, Paige, to the my new this channel is the bringing forward the new golden age of miracles. And in this channel we do all kinds of things that revolve around bringing forward the new golden age of miracles. And that session that we had was absolutely incredible. And so I wanted to share that session with everybody today. So I know that you would like to do an introduction for me, and I don't usually get anybody introducing. So, Paige, would you like to do your introduction as well before we get going and talk about what we're going to be talking about today?
Yes, Robin, I would be happy to. I recently had the honor of doing a powerful hypnosis session with the incredible Robin Nicole.
Ooh.
Robin is a deeply intuitive soul, a channel for the higher dimensional wisdom, and a guide for those on the path to awakening. Under hypnosis, she becomes a clear vessel for messages from Source, the higher self, and new earth frequencies. Her presence is calming, pure, and radiant, like speaking to an angel who remembers exactly why we came here. In this video, we'll talk about what came through during our session, the journey to the new earth, and how each of us can begin to align with this higher timeline of peace, unity, and divine remembrance.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful like introduction page. So, what do you think we should do? Should we talk a little bit about like we're going to share the session. We're going to share the session with everybody today. And so, Paige, what would you like to say about this session? Because there was a lot of answers that came through. There was stuff about progressive hypnosis and things about the shift and like how it will be different for different people and what to expect kind of thing. What else was there in there? It was they were talking about.
Well, I thought it was only about 5 or 10 minutes that we spoke about the new Earth, how the new Earth shifted, but I think you gave me an hour's worth of information when I re-listened to it. It was just amazing, and I was just so shocked about what came through. First of all, you brought in the Council of Five, I remember, and
It was the
you
Arcturian Council. There was five chairs, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
five
five
chairs.
chairs,
One for
and
me, and then there was four beings.
uh-huh, that
Yeah.
came in and spoke through you and told us what was going to happen. But the nuts and bolts of it, what I really remember what was that those northern lights that people have been seeing the last year in
Mhm.
2024.
Mhm.
I have a hard time pronouncing them. How do
The
you pronounce it?
Aurora Borealis, I think is what they're
Yeah,
called. Yeah.
okay. The Royal Borealis. But it's going to be more profound. It's not going to be a huge flash, because before with Dolores Cannon, we were told it was going to be a big flash of light, and
Mhm.
then everybody all of a sudden was going to be at New Earth. And sometimes we've heard it's going to be a slow progression, but it's got to do with the northern lights. And the longer we see those northern lights, the more it's not going to be a flash, just the northern lights. And the longer we see them, it's going to be a process. And then we're going to see them night and day. And I even asked, I'm in Northern California.
Mhm.
Robin's in Ireland, so I thought I'm a little bit lower. Are we going to be, because
Yeah,
I
you're a
was
little bit
going to see
lower.
here, and yeah, we were told we were going to see here all over the place. Nobody's going to miss these northern lights, and
Which are kind of like they're going to be hitting from the south too. So they're going to, from what I understand from the session, they were saying that the it'll be like it's coming from the north and the south, from the poles or something. That's the big huge flash event that we've all been talking about happening, but it's not going to happen the way that we thought it. And there was all this information as well about like how everybody, like people are getting dates and times and different things like that going on when they're looking at, like I've had people come to sessions because I do the hypnosis as well, and I've had people coming and I've been doing these progressive sessions and we've been going into the New Earth timeline and they're seeing things happen at different times. And then I question that. I'm like, why is somebody seeing this happen at this date? And then other people are seeing it at a different date. And then we got an answer to that in the session today. We got an answer as to why some people are moving at different times and like it was a lot clearer. And you were able to like ask questions while we were in the session to make it come out more clear. You're like, I'm not sure if I understand that all the way. Can you explain that? And then the guides came through and they started explaining it a little bit differently. So it's a little bit understandable and it makes more sense.
but if everybody's in their own stage of progression, and it depends on where you're at. Some of us, it'll be a gradual going to the new earth, and some of us all at once because we've already been doing the work that we've been doing. So it's important for
Hmm.
all of us to keep working on ourselves. It's important for us to clear our trauma. It's important for us to clear our lineage.
Hmm.
And one big question I asked in the session, is it important for Robin to do hypnosis sessions? Is it important for me to keep doing hypnosis
Hmm.
sessions? And we were told yes. Anybody that does hypnosis, it's important for them to keep doing this because people need to know where we're going.
and get
important for,
prepared.
yes, it's important for many people to prepare and move to the next golden age of time, is what we were
And
told.
this is why we decided that this part of the session needed to be shared. And this is why we decided to come on and because this needed to be shared to people. The information was very profound and about they were inviting all people that do hypnosis to start doing these types of sessions to bring their clients to this future timeline because we're kind of in the middle of it, is what I was understanding. We're in the middle of this whole shifting, and there was also information, if I remember, there was information about people that would be going to the ships, and then there was information about people and why they are going to be going to ships. And it wasn't like they were safe, it wasn't like the ships were going to save people. It was kind of like it was going to be for them for they had to go into these pods for recalibration. And then but then there was other people that were going to be not having to do that because they prepared themselves already. They're already like running at that frequency so that they can take that higher frequency. And they were explaining about there was going to be like a transition of time where you needed to kind of be prepared. And so they talked a little bit about that. And they started bringing in examples about like learning how to they were very specific not to get like drastic about it. Like we didn't need to be like preppers or anything like that, but they were saying like start learning like how to light a fire without matches, if there was a flood or something. There was like how to preserve your food, like the way we did when then they brought up that example about like when we were children. I remember that. I remember my grandfather had this huge vegetable garden, and I remember whenever it was time to harvest whatever vegetable, it was like everybody was all hands were on deck, and the kids were out there, we're all picking the peas or whatever it is, the strawberries, and my grandmother would be inside, and there would be like making the jams and the pies and all of the stuff, like all the canning of all of the stuff to so that it would be there for the future. And what they were explaining is like we've kind of gone away from that. We're not doing that anymore. So they were basically saying that you need to educate yourself on how to do those things so
And
that
that's what I've been doing lately too, is educating myself because my current grandparents made a huge garden,
Mhm.
but they didn't teach me anything. And I did not want to be taught when I was a child. That was
Mhm.
my problem. But the last 20 years, I've been wanting to grow different plants,
Mhm.
getting more knowledge on what to grow. And recently I've looked up how to do canning.
Yes. And I actually started buying some jars, and I remember my mother, she used to do the canning, and I remember the pressure cooker thing on the stove, and I remember her putting the things in and taking them out, but I don't know the process. Like there is a certain like process with that. So I actually did go up on a YouTube video to see like how do you do this and what do you do with this like pressure cooker and how long do you keep them in there for and all of this kind of stuff. And there is a lot to it. You need to know what you're doing because like when you're preserving these fruits and vegetables and different things, like if you're making like say you're taking all the vegetables and you're making like a soup that you're just going to can the soup, you need to make sure you know like what temperature you're supposed to, and how long you're supposed to pressurize that for it to seal properly, or else you're going to end up having food that's like gone bad, and you're going to open up the thing and you're going to think it's okay and it's not. So these are the things that we don't know anymore. We haven't done that. And they were also talking about people that are actually staying. It'll be kind of more like we're moving off grid. And so there's a lot of people that are starting to do that. There's a lot of people that they're leaving the cities and they're leaving their jobs and they're starting to buy these little homesteads or these, small holdings and stuff like that. I watch a lot of people on YouTube that are doing that. They have different channels and people are like fixing up cottages here in Ireland and stuff like that, you know? So it's interesting to me. And so, like, you don't have to be a spiritual person to be moving into this new earth. It's just a higher vibrational frequency. And I think a lot of times a lot of people in the spiritual community, we think we have to be like, do everything a certain way and meditate and do all this stuff. But really, it's just living. It's living this high vibrational life. And that's what they're talking about in this session. They're talking about when, as we move over, it's just going to be a new way of living. And I just found it quite interesting.
Yeah, we were told also don't be scared, be calm, connect to your heart. To me, I'm not scared. I'm excited. I can't wait till this
Yeah.
happens. You know, it's going to be a huge shift, but it's everybody's going to be in their heart space. So that's what's going to be so wonderful. That
Yeah.
yeah, these higher frequencies. I could already see family members moving into their heart space
Mhm.
and being more beautiful people. So I hope other people can see it also.
Yeah.
And another thing they said was we're also going to be able to travel to other planets, but
Hmm.
we'll mainly travel for learning reasons.
Hmm.
So we're
There
going to
was
be learning all sorts of new things from these other planets.
Yeah, there was a lot to to the session. So I think what we should do is we should play the session and then we're going to come back and we're going to have a chat about it. We'll kind of have a little wrap up chat about it. And we would love for anybody that listens to this session to make some comments in the comment section wherever you're finding this, whether you're finding this on YouTube or Facebook. And we will definitely love to have some interaction about this and like, what do you think about this? And or have you gotten some information that's similar? Or we want to look for like the threads that are like similar because like there's a lot of everybody will say, well, I didn't get that information exactly that way. And that's because each one of us is different. So we'll all get like a different perspective. And so what we're looking at is looking for the threads, the common threads in there. And I think this type of thing needs to be shared so that people can start getting prepared. And we want this. We want to move into this new timeline. And nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And so we have to do the work. We have to work on ourselves. And so let's just play the session and then we'll come back and we'll have a little bit of a talk about it.
Do we have the Arcturian Council here?
Yes.
Yes. May I ask Robin's questions?
First, I'll describe the space that we're in.
Beautiful.
There's a building. It's definitely not on Earth, and it's in the shape of a pyramid. It's very tall and kind of blue color hues coming off from it. And when we go inside, there's a table in the middle, and then there is chairs around the table. They're very futuristic looking chairs. They look like they're weird looking. They look kind of like do you know those chairs that you would have on the beach? They're kind of like the lounge chairs, but that's not totally lounging.
Are they the ones with the long backs?
Yeah, but these backs have like points coming up at the back of them, and they have like a thing coming around like the planet Saturn, you know, like the ring around the, I don't know, it's very weird. They're very weird looking chairs.
What type of material does it look like the chairs are made out of?
They're made out of something, some kind of, I don't know, it looks like metal, but it's not. It's some kind of silvery looking kind of metal, I guess, but I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like anything that we have on Earth.
So you say there's a round table with chairs.
Yeah, these weird looking chairs.
Is the Arcturian Council sitting around the round table?
There are beings ready to gather around the table.
Oh, they're not sitting there yet.
Nobody's sitting there yet. They're just showing me the room, and I'm kind of going into this space. And they offer me a chair to sit down in.
So how many chairs?
There are 5 chairs altogether.
I thought the council was of 9, so not all the members are here.
No, they're just this is a small meeting just for us today.
Am I sitting at one of the chairs?
No, they're having it's me sitting at the chair with the 4 different guides that are working with me.
Oh, okay. Oh, does the room have any decorations or colors or anything?
It's kind of like it's kind of a boring room. It's kind of like a board room,
Oh, okay.
but it's like I don't know if I'm inside of their planet in a room or if I'm in a spaceship. I don't know.
Are they ready for our questions? Or would they like to speak first?
They say that it could be very informal today and that they're ready to answer questions.
What is Robin's mission?
Her mission is to be a way shower of freedom.
What is she supposed to be working on?
There's a lot that supposed to be working on. Would would you like to know for right this moment or
Like, is she supposed to be translating her book into video or audio? Is she supposed to be translating her book into audio? Create audiobooks. Is she supposed to be creating audiobooks too?
an audiobook of the book that she already wrote?
Yes.
Yes, she can do this because it is good for the book to come out in her voice. because her voice has special keys and codes for the people who will listen to it.
Is she also supposed to be putting up YouTube videos?
We've guided her to put up YouTube videos so that she can get the messages out that pertain the content that's in her book. Because at the moment, her mission is to help prepare people, help to prepare their bodies, their minds, and their light bodies to shift into a higher dimensional frequency.
Should she also be doing clients, hypnosis clients?
Yes, this is very important at this moment in time. It's part of preparing people to help them get ready for the shift.
Should I also be doing hypnosis clients?
It is important for anybody that is doing hypnosis to help those prepare for the shift in consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good idea for anybody that is doing hypnosis to do preparation sessions with their clients, because the time is shifting, the timeline is shifting at this time. We're in the middle of the shift into the next new golden age of time. We're right in the middle of it. And before, hypnosis sessions were important to release trauma. And it was important for people to regress and go into clearing their lineage, clearing their trauma. But right now, the most important part is to get as many people to prepare themselves to move into the next new golden age of time. So yes, to answer your question, it is important for all hypnotherapists that do hypnosis to start taking their clients into the future timeline, to prepare each client for their own personal shift. Each person will have a different role to play. Each person will experience a different type of a shift. It all depends on where they're situated on the earth. So it is important. And this is why we are stressing to Robin at the moment to put her sessions up on the YouTube channel for people to listen to, so that more people will come and have a session. It is important for people to know what's going to happen, to be able to prepare so that when things happen, they're not working from fear, they're not coming from fear, so that they know that they're going to be okay.
Thank you. As we shift into the new Earth timeline, Is it going to happen all at once or gradually?
For some, it will happen all at once. And for others, it'll feel more like a gradual changeover. And that depends on where the vibration of the person is in. This is
When
important for each person to go into progression type of a session to see what their role is going to be. So that
are people,
not scared
oh, sorry,
happens.
say that sentence one more time.
So that they're not scared. There's no fear when and if it happens.
Are some people going to go up on spaceships when it happens?
There will be some people that are ready to move into the new Earth timeline, but their physical bodies are not ready to move into this timeline because their vibration needs to be recalibrated. And for those people who will be moving into this new Earth timeline that you speak of, some will have to go up into these ships, but some will stay on the Earth and they will be worked on from the ship to them on the Earth. Does this make sense to you?
I'm still a little confused. So, who are the people that are going to go up into the spaceship?
Some people need and require to be placed into what we would call a recalibrating pod,
Yes.
and they need extensive time in the pod.
Are they going to know and remember that they're in these spaceship and pod? Is their memory going to be wiped and then come right back down?
They will not even realize what is happening. It will just be like they went to sleep and then they'll wake up. And it's kind of like when you're in dream time and they will just be in these pods for as long as it takes.
Now I
There will
understand.
be a time before they return to Earth where they will spend outside of the pods getting ready to return to Earth, where they will learn how to keep their vibration to where it needs to be. No one can actually sustain themselves on the higher frequency new Earth unless their vibration is vibrating at the same speed. For a very long time, a lot of people have been 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the other world. And those people will be able to hold themselves into this vibration for short periods of time, but they can't hold themselves to sustain their physical bodies in that frequency for long periods of time. So this is what the pods will do for them.
Did you say that some people will not return to Earth?
They will eventually return to Earth, or they will make a decision if they would like to stay on the ships or if they would like to go someplace else.
Is Robin going to stay in the same area that she's in and build a community?
Yes, she will stay on the Earth in the place where she's at. She's already been placed into the position of where she needs to be.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Is there going to be a grand solar flash?
It's not going to be what you think it is. It's not going to be like a big, huge whoosh of light. It will be very much like, you know, those aurora borealises that are happening, that people are seeing in places that they don't normally see them?
Yes.
Well, these will be getting stronger. It comes from the solar storms. And as this happens, they will start to activate people and prepare people. And this will just get stronger and stronger and stronger until the lights, the northern lights, they don't turn off even during the daytime. When it gets to that point, anybody that's not vibrating at the speed that they need to be able to handle that much light will be taken up to these ships. They will be going for recalibration. If they do not want to go back down to the earth, they will then be given a choice as to where they want to go next. Each person's choice is individual. But the earth itself will be shifting fully into this higher frequency, this higher timeline. It's already like that on the inner earth planes, but it will be happening on the outer earth as well. Earth,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Earth will be moving into a new place in the galactic systems, so to speak. And when this happens, humans that live on the earth will be able to travel like going on vacation to the other planets easily. They'll just be thinking about going to the planet Arcturus if they want to, or Andromeda for some learning. Usually with the reasoning would be for learning. And they just think about where they want to go and they're there. They can either astral project or they can astral travel. Their whole bodies can go. They can teleport and try whatever they want to do once they get themselves into this new earth frequency. Everything will be different. The poles will shift and change. There will be land masses forming that you didn't see that were underneath the sea, and other things that you did see will be going under the sea again. There's a lot of things that will be happening all at once. The earth will be shifting. As we say this, we don't want people to be scared. It is very important for people to stay calm and connected to their heart and listen to their own intuition. This is why it's very important at the moment for Robin to teach what is in her book about how to connect to their inner compass, to their guidance systems. All of these teachings, all of these things that are in her book, it's very important to focus on this, to learn how to recalibrate and regenerate your cellular structure, to prepare yourself to vibrate higher all the time so that you don't have to go and be recalibrated for long periods of time. Each person needs to learn this for themselves. And there are many out there who have this information, not just Robin.
So then, is it going to take years to get us to vibrate at the highest caliber?
You are in the middle of this shift at this moment in time. It's not that far away.
Is it months, years away?
It's going to be different for everybody because this earth is shifting and moving. And so, depending upon where people are living, if there is like, let's just say there may be like an earthquake or tsunami or volcanic eruption or something that's going to take out the area where a person is living, those people will be taken up on ships, and it will be kind of like it'll all happen at different times. And we're answering this because we know Robin asked a question about this, about the girl that was in her session and she had saw it happening in 2025 in August. And what we want to say about that is it might happen for her in 2025 because of where she's living. Maybe there's something that might be happening on the earth in that place where not those people cannot stay in that spot. But for other people, they'll be in pockets of places where they'll be safe and they will be able to stay. So we cannot give you a time when this will happen. All we can say is Watch out for the northern lights. And when the northern lights keep getting stronger and stronger, you know that it's getting closer and closer. When this becomes almost a common thing where every night there's a display in the sky, you know that it's getting closer.
Will I be able to see these northern lights where I live?
When this happens, everybody in the earth will be able to see these northern lights. There'll be no question. Do you remember last year in May 10th of 2024, when these northern lights went through the skies all over the earth and there were sightings everywhere?
Yes.
It will be like that. And it'll be happening more frequently. That was the start of it. That is your light flash. That is your flash event that everybody has been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That is your flash event. So you asked before, would this be gradual or will this happen in an instant? For some people, it's gradual because they're watching it happen. They're taking notice as to it happening. There's other people that are going around not paying attention to it at all whatsoever. They will not pay attention until all of a sudden it's so strong. Then it will feel like an event that just happened right then and there. But for others, they will have seen it happening over a gradual period of time.
Thank you. We have a better understanding now.
And there are some who are already preparing. There are people that are buying, they don't know why they're doing it, but they're buying off-grid type of pieces of land. All over the earth, people are doing this. And they're trying to move off grid. They don't want to live in the cities anymore. And this is how these new communities will form. Robin will create something like this in her area. We are showing her that there will be property near her house where it is suitable to create a new community. But this will not happen right away because the government systems are very strict about planning permissions for buildings and living spaces at this moment in Ireland. It will not happen until the government releases their power over the people.
How long will it take for the government to release their power over the people?
It's coming to a head. it's not just in her place where she's living, it's coming to a head all over the world.
What is making this happen?
It's part of the dismantling of the old systems. Everything has to crash before you can start new again. So the only thing that people like you and Robin and other people that are working towards this new Earth timeline, the only thing that you can do right now is turn your televisions off and just start creating your world around you. Do what you need to do to be as self-sustainable as possible. You do not have to go crazy and be one of those people that, like, what do they call them? Preppers,
Yeah.
disaster. It's not like that. We're suggesting that you create ways to survive around the systems that are in place. We will give you an example. Have you ever noticed when the power goes out, how all of a sudden people cannot remember, they do not know what to do without their devices?
Yes.
The children
Yes.
days, they don't know what to do. When the power goes out, they kind of freak out because they don't know what to do. You need to set your living space up so that you have what you need to get through in times of when a power outage would go out.
So should we still stock up on food?
It is smart to always have food and essentials, medicines, whatever you need to survive on a daily basis. It is smart to always have supplies. We suggest that you have enough supplies to get you through for 6 months if need be. But this is not to scare you. This is just to help you. So we're going to take you to an example that happened this winter here with Robin in Ireland. The snow came down and people were stranded because there was no way to get around. They do not have plows and all the things that are needed. And for a week, Robin was stranded in her house. She had power, but some people didn't even have power, which meant that they couldn't even put their fire on to stay warm because the fire has a pump that pumps the water throughout the system to keep the house warm through the radiators.
Mhm.
And if you turn the fire on without the pump running, the back boiler will explode. So what we suggest is that you have a way, you have a system to heat your area up, such as a propane heater or a generator of some sort. These are things that every household should have. We have forgotten because we've gotten so used to everything happening where everything is at our fingertips. We have forgotten. When you were younger, do you not remember the gardens, the food being grown in the gardens, and the
Yeah.
and the preserving and getting ready, everything canned and prepared and put away for a rainy day? People do not do this anymore. They don't even know how to start. This is what we say that you should do to get prepared. Learn how to preserve the food that you have now for a rainy day. It would be good for every household to have a homeopathic book as far as recipes on how to do things like first aid, to make creams and balms and potions and medicines out of plants, to know what plants are safe to eat and what plants are poisonous. So when we say get prepared, we're saying take action on making sure that you have preserves waiting for you. And you know how to bake some bread out of a fire oven. You know how to start a fire without a lighter or matches. Things like this, survival type of classes would be essential to start learning. For when you switch over to this new Earth timeline, there will be a time in between where systems will not be in place. You will not be able to go into the grocery store and get what you need, or they will not have the shelves stocked anymore. If the electricity is out, the freezers don't work, the refrigerators don't work, the food goes bad quickly. These are things that you should think about. Wow, there was so much that was unpacked, and just that was only like the beginning of the session that we had that day. Like there was so much more because we were going in with the intention where you were going to help me um with the information for my second book. We were because I know that I'm working with these guides and I these four Arcturian guides that were at the table. And even after the part that we shared here, we were introduced to the four guides, and they told us how they would be working with me going forward, and that anytime I would get information from them, then when I needed a clarification, that we would have a session. You and I would do another session again and get more information. Like for instance, like there was a dragon Arcturian guide from the 12th dimension that helps me whenever I go to the dragon's lair. and they'll give me objects and stuff. And if I don't understand how to use those objects or what they're for, then we're supposed to go back into session and get more clarification. And you'll help me with that. You'll help me kind of to go deeper. And then also with the that one guide, he was who was that? Una Tanuka, which came up in the session at the end. It's not the part that you all just heard. And he is an 11th dimensional Arcturian guide that works with crystals and is going to be teaching me all about energy devices and anything having to do with crystals. And so anytime I have information about something that I've been learning or seeing, because I make these energy devices, I've already started. I have three of them already that I use with sacred geometry, and they said that there'll be new ones coming for the second book to help us as we are living in the new Earth timeline. Because the second book is all about living in the new Earth timeline. And they said that they said that that guy would be there. There was another guy that was going to be there to help me have fun because I work too hard and I'm so serious about everything that they would do that. And then there was like this Arcturian queen that showed up, and she was going to be helping with stuff, but she said that she wasn't going to be helping yet, like that it was going to take a little bit of time before she'd be working with me. So I think like going forward, we're going to have more of these sessions. So what do you think? Do you think, Paige, that we should be asking people if they have any questions for these guides when we do these sessions?
Yes, everybody, if we need your feedback. What questions would you like to ask? Go ahead and text us a message of what questions you would like to ask. And we're going to be doing more things like this. Robin, you just had a book that came out. Would you like to talk about the book that just came out and describe it?
Yeah, because this is the first book, okay? So this book is bringing forward a new golden age of miracles. And it's book one, and it's about alchemizing your mind, your body, and your light body. And it's all about getting prepared for what's to come and for going into this new timeline. And the book is literally full. I can tell you, I'll just give you a synopsis of will I read the back cover and like tell you kind of like what's in the book, and then so basically in 2020, while the world grappled with lockdowns and uncertainty, I embraced a different path with because we weren't doing my because I had run a ceramic business and my daily routines and everything paused. So I immersed myself into creativity and family and nature. And I spent a lot of time by the riverbank and I was going for all these walks, and I began like a life-changing transformation, and I started working with these guides. I connected with the ancient beings and the Lemurians and the inner earth guides, and they shared wisdom on how to balance the mind, body, and the light body. And they revealed how they live off light and experience no death as humans do. By the time the world returned to normal, I had experienced a profound shift in my mindset, my dreams, and my goals. And so the book, it basically serves as a guide to help others awaken to their true potential as multidimensional beings of light and creators of their own reality. Simple yet profound, it empowers readers to raise their vibration, align their being, and make positive changes both for themselves and humanity by living their best life. The sacred knowledge revealed in this book explores how the universe works and how to navigate your inner compass, what a starseed is and whether you are one yourself, how the Lemurians lived, evolved, and inhabited the inner earth cities of light, and how to expand your consciousness and transform your body into the future human anatomy, how to work through your core woundings, the mechanics of astral travel and how it can be a valuable tool, what ley lines are, how grid workers connect to the land, and how to work with the land and sacred sites. And then there was more information, how to harness light for healing on a cellular level, and above all, the mysteries that have been hidden from us since birth. So that's what the book is about, and it's all about preparing. So I was working with mainly the Lemurian and the Inner Earth guides when I was writing this book. And I was working with all of the things that I learned in doing cellular repair and regeneration. And so all of that is important for us to be moving into this next new golden age of time. And then once this book was finished, all this information is out, and this is here for people to get now if they want it. And I'll put a link in the description of this video for you to be able to get this book. It's available in print and it's also available in ebook version. And I'm actually recording the audiobook as we speak. It's going to take a little bit of time before that gets up, but that'll be available. Mine is through Lulu Publishing. And so, yeah, if you want to get your hands on this book, um, definitely. And then you can also keep following the YouTube channel because all of the videos that I'll be putting up all go with the content in the book, all the teachings and all the things that we talk about there. So that's a big long explanation about the book. And so I was told once the book was finished, and I thought, oh, I've done my job, it's all done. And they're telling me, no, this is book one of a trilogy, and you're going to be working. So I was in Glastonbury last September, and I had an experience in the bathtub where I started working. I got this like I guess it would it be an activation? Paige
Or
heard it.
download,
I said
download.
I guess a download, yeah. But they activated me, and they there was this symbol that they kind of placed into my solar plexus. I was in the bathtub when it happened. I was very ill at the time. I wasn't feeling well, and so I kind of sunk into this bathtub, and they kind of did some stuff with this like symbol and they kept putting it into my solar plexus and they told me not that I didn't need to understand it. And then after that was all over with, they told me to push record and that there was that I had um a message to channel from the one of the guides, the Arcturian guides that came through, and they explained everything when I was channeling it. And they told me that these guides would help me write the second book. And basically, they would do teachings. There would be four guides, and they would be teaching me different things on how to live in the new time, the new Earth timeline. And so then that brought me to Paige because Paige and I were talking, and we had done hypnosis back in 2020, and Paige had remembered that the guide said that we could work together and that there was information like going to different worlds or something, and that I could help with this because I was what they were saying, at least what Paige was saying was I was very easy to go into it.
And channel this information from these guides.
Yeah, and so they said that they would work with me. So that's why Paige and I got back together again after like I think it's been 4 years now. And I said, hey, Paige, like we could do this again because now I have these guides that I'm working with and we could go in and find out more information. And so that's kind of how it started. And that's how this whole new like adventure is kind of happening. So I want to say something now about you because you had just published a book this week and it's about people that are going into other worlds. What is your book about? You have just published.
Yeah, it's called Spiritual Journeys to Other Planets and Past Lives. And it's about my hypnosis clients that have gone to other planets on in their past lives. It's a remembrance of who they once were. And it's just surprising to me that the reason I wrote this book is that I want people to know that our souls are eternal, multidimensional. We've lived lives not only here, but on other planets. And when we begin to remember those journeys, healings begin. We reconnect with forgotten gifts. We understand ourselves and our mission more clearly, and we realize that we are not alone, nor are we small. This book will open you up to a whole new world that you never knew was possible. So it just came out yesterday, and
It's funny that we happen to be doing this.
yeah, I'm happy for people to order this on Amazon. And I just found out too, I'm an International Book Awards finalist, so I got to stamp this on the book. So we're
Oh.
very excited about this. The publisher sent this in 6 months ago for these awards and entered my book for the award. So that's why I already got it on there.
Oh, wow. That is very interesting. And so yours is available on Amazon. Is that how yours
Yes,
is?
it's available on Amazon, and I'd just like to talk a little bit about a few people that are in my sessions in the book. One of them
Yeah.
is where um, Brandy, the first one in the book, I had a live with Marie Antoinette as her best friend.
Mhm.
And one night I seen a vision with a picture of Brandy, my friend, there. And I was told she was in that live too. So I thought, oh my gosh, we got to find out about this. If they're telling me she was in that life also, there must be some juicy stuff to find out. So I asked
Mhm.
her, hey, can I get together for a hypnosis session? And she said, sure. And we got together for a hypnosis session, but she didn't go to that life.
She went to another world?
She went to another world where she was a spy on another planet.
Oh.
And then yeah, that was just amazing. And then then I maneuvered her to the life with Marie Antoinette. And that was some shocking things we found out about Marie
And is that in the
Antoinette.
book? Is that in the book?
Yeah, that part's in the book too,
Okay.
because I've had sessions where I found out all about my life with Marie Antoinette, and I was her best friend, and she was just wonderful to me. But then you see a whole nother side from Brandy's view.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
You understand why they cut her head off.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, so the reasons too, I asked why in the hypnosis session they brought Brandy to me, why they wanted us to get together, because her guides wanted her to have a hypnosis session because they wanted to give her some downloads. That was
Hmm.
very important for her to get those downloads, and they thought that she was ready.
So do you think there'll be another book as well, like as you go forward with when you have more clients coming in and going into future worlds, future timelines, different things like that?
Uh, yes, I'm
Like, I just got the first book out.
many hypnosis sessions or and other people tell me too in readings that I have many more books to come,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
um, I can't reveal what they're about yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what they told me. My book, there's going to be three books to this trilogy that I'm doing, and it's all going to be under the umbrella of bringing forward a new golden age of miracles. And they gave me I know the first book is about preparing and getting yourself ready, and that was with the Lemurian guides and the inner earth beings, and there was like earthly dragons and stuff like that. And then the second book is the Arcturians. And then when I wanted to know what the third book was going to be and what kind of guides were going to come through, they said they wouldn't tell me because they know that I would then start to focus on it, and I need to do what I need to do for the second book before they will let me know who the new guides are going to be. But what I did find was interesting is the the guides that I worked with a lot of the elemental kingdom in this first book, and I worked like they always call me fairy whisperer and daughter of light and all this kind of stuff. And then there was you had your Lemurian and they had the star mother that was working with me. And then I had this dragon that was working with me. And then and they were all helping me out throughout the whole book. And then now I've been transferred over. And then when we just had the session, which we haven't shared this part of the session, we just shared what was important for the collective. But they introduced the four guides, and we had a galactic fairy, which is an elemental Arcturian that I didn't even know existed. And then we had the queen. There was a Arcturian queen. Then we had the guy that was it was a male that was working with the crystals, and then we had an Arcturian dragon. So like I find it interesting that the guides that are working with me, they all have like an elemental kingdom thing. They all have a dragon thing, and they all have like they all it's kind of interesting how that has come through like that. This is my first time working with the Arcturians, which is very different to me than working with the Lemurians. So it's interesting.
Hmm.
And I think what we also should talk about as well, because there was something that they had talked about in the session with the progressive hypnosis sessions. They were saying is very important. Anybody that does hypnosis, remember they were saying they were answering the question about should we do hypnosis, and they were saying yes, and they were saying that it's very important. So, should we talk a little bit more about what's the difference between regression from what they taught us and what's the difference between progression? So, these are different. So, we spent a lot of time in the last years with the regressions, right? Going into past lifetimes and clearing trauma, clearing lineages and stuff. And they started talking in when we were doing this session, they started saying it's important to start doing these progressive sessions to take people to the future, to the new Earth timeline, to help prepare them that we're coming into a time where it's important for people to start getting ready.
And
So
they need their own personal shift to be able to do this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's going to have their own personal whatever. There's all going to be different. And I've actually had clients coming through that they've had different kind of experiences, but they're of what they're like. I had a client that was coming in recently that she's going to go to the ships for a small period of time. There was some kind of like something happening where she was living, that it was going to be a mass exodus of like I don't know, some kind of like event like volcano, or I don't know, like some kind of earth event that was going to shift people. And she was seeing her family going into different ships for recalibration, and she went to a ship with her sister, I think two of her sisters. And one of her sisters stayed on the ship, but she like did a little bit of whatever she had to do in the pod, and then she found herself very quickly back into the earth, back into learning, and she was like working with these inner earth beings that came up out of the inner earth to help get the communities going and stuff like that. And then I had another client, and I've put their sessions up on here as well. If you want to go back and listen to them, that that client went up to this like massive like planet ship. It was like huge. It was like as big as a planet, and it was kind of like the mothership. And her job was to go back to the old Earth timeline and help people with technology. So she was taking technology back and forth from this mothership back over to the people to help people to move over, kind of thing. So one client was actually setting up the new earth and working in like new buildings and new ways to plant food and stuff like that. And then the other one was still going back and forth to the old timeline to try to help people move forward to go to this mothership so that they could then go over.
Everybody has a different role to play. So that's also why it's important to get a hypnosis session so you can find out the role that you're going to play in the future.
Hmm. So, you do hypnosis, I do hypnosis. We both are committed to doing this for people. Anybody that's been listening to this, if you would like to have a session with either myself or Paige, I'll leave a link. There's a link to my website to have a private session with me, a progressive session. And then Paige doesn't have a website set up at the moment. Hers got a little bit messed up, so she's gonna have to be making a new website at the moment. So in the meantime, we're gonna put her email down into the description so that you can contact Paige if you would like to have a session like what we had today. Like, I think it would be interesting for you. I guess it all depends on who you resonate with, and we all there's so many hypnosis people out there, and if the two of us don't resonate, I'm sure that you'll find somebody else out there that will do it for you. So what do you think? Do you have anything else to add, Paige, before we wrap it up for today?
Uh, no, Robin, that you said everything very beautifully. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for coming on and sharing this with me. I wanted to bring you on instead of just me putting up a video all the time. I wanted to bring in another person to say, hey, these are people that have been helping me, and I want to help other people by letting other people know people that have helped me as well. So, and we'll be sharing this wherever you see this. Please do help us with by putting comments and interacting and sharing it. If you think that somebody else needs to see this video, that's the way it works. That's the way it will move around. Both of us don't have big followings, so any kind of help that you can do to pass the word, we would really appreciate it. And Paige, you have a Facebook group that you work with called Soul Tribe.
Yes, yes. My group is called Soul Tribe that I work with that we give information to, and people can ask us questions.
Okay. And will we have people, if people want to ask questions about any kind of, like, we would like people to put in questions because Paige and I are going to do this frequently. We're gonna get together and do a session. So if there's anything that you would like Paige to ask me, these Arcturian guides, to help you to understand something a little bit more deeper, or to find answers, please put it into the comments, and we'll definitely put it into the one of the next sessions that we do, and we'll share it with you when it comes through. Until the next time, that's all I have. What about you?
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Okay. And just keep shining your light, everybody, and just keep on keeping on. And that's all we have for today. Send you all so much love. In 2020, when the world stopped and it seemed like everyone was focusing on doom and gloom, I chose a different approach. While fear and uncertainty consumed so many, I turned inward into stillness, creativity, and connection. Spending long hours walking in the forest and meditating by the stream, my life changed forever, and there was no going back to life as normal. During this time, I delved deep into the teachings of the mystery schools, connecting with Lemurians and inner earth beings. They shared their profound wisdom on how to prepare for the next golden age, a new era of transformation for humanity. As I embraced their teachings, I realized that it became my life's mission to help others prepare for the shift in consciousness humanity is approaching. And so, in the stillness of the forest, this book began to take shape. This book is more than words on a page. It's a guide to alchemizing your mind, body, and light body. Unlock powerful tools to release trauma, activate your light body, and align your being with your true purpose. Inside, you'll find a complete guide of tools and techniques to help you release stored trauma, connect with your inner compass, and strengthen your bond with your spirit guides. This book will help you expand your consciousness, raise your vibration, and step into your power, becoming the creator of your own reality and the multi-dimensional being of light you were born to be. This is your invitation to transform, step into your power, reclaim your purpose, and begin living the life you were meant to create. To get your hands on bringing forward a new golden age of miracles, click on the link provided in the description of this video and take back your power today. Reclaim your birthright and step into the life you were always meant to live.